Welcome to the Get Offset podcast. My name is Emily.
And I'm Joan of Heart.
And we are recording live from NAMM in Anaheim. I don't know why I say live because we are here live, but this is obviously pre-recorded.
Yeah. And in person, in the same place at the same time.
It is the first time we've been together physically, which is really fun. It's been great.
No, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been cool. So let's start with something that I'm a little bit more familiar with. Ultimate Ears, the in-ear monitor company, they released their newest sound signature, UE Premier, which has 21 drivers per side.
I saw that.
It's a lot. And I was really curious to hear them. And I brought my UE RRs, my reference remasters here, just in case I needed to use them. And I listened to some MQA, some master quality audio from Tidal on the RRs. And then they gave me the premiere, and it was holy crap.
I did about the same thing. I listened to the remaster. Yeah. And then, of course, after listening to the remasters, I listened to the premiere, and it was, with the 21 drivers, the leap in difference between the two. And I'd never really used in-ear monitors, and just the noticeable quality of it was astounding.
It was amazing. And I also have the 18 pluses, so... Like, I have a few different sound signatures from them because I've worked with them over the years, and these sound great. Like, there's I've never experienced anything like that. It's like everything felt separated. Like, the highs were crystal clear. The lows, like, you could feel them almost, which is wild. Being able to feel lows with in-ear monitors. Yeah, I mean, they are spendy. But I gotta imagine if you are someone who's doing a lot of mixing, or if you're someone who does a lot of live shows, you want to make sure you have the best thing possible. Those are them, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, even like when I was trying the remasters, the flat frequency straight across, I was like, yes, like this is actually what I'd like to mix with. This is great.
That's what I mix with. That's why I do all the demos with pretty much. I use the 18s live because they have more headroom. So the RR, the only thing is like they don't get as loud, but I've still used them on stage. The 18s get plenty loud without obviously hurting your hearing, and I have a different fit for those. Those are from my scan I got last year, and the RRs are a little shallower of a fit, but still, they're both very comfortable. Yeah, but in-ear monitors, they sound very good. But like 21 drivers per side, that is so many. So that's a lot of separation.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, great work from UE. They sound amazing.
Yeah. No, I tried it with a reference track, and between the two, I can definitely hear with the same track, just the noticeable headroom and obviously the upper drivers.
Yeah.
It was really definitely an experience. I was like, wow, like no one else is here in this room with everything going on. I could not hear anything. And this room is loud, like everything going on right now. I could not hear any of them. It was just the music and me in high def. It's like, it was an immersion experience.
Yes, I heard somebody describe, it was something else, but like going from an older television to 4K. Like listening in 4K. Yeah, it's definitely listening in 4K. And I don't know what else to say about them other than like they have those upper register harmonics that create a lot of that grit and warmth and richness. And those are hard to get, but they did a study with some of the drivers are from Knowles. Knowles did a study that basically showed the older you get, the more you prefer a sound signature that has like a boost higher up, like 1200 hertz to 1600 hertz.
Okay.
And considering the technical limit of human hearing is about 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, that's up there. I think it's kind of like when you get older, you start to like those bitter flavors more than you did when you were younger. It was very interesting to see like how as you age, what you like changes and just in terms of like what you like to hear.
Yeah.
So to be able to get all of that and then some, really neat.
Yeah. And again, in listening to the upper model, it was very much like I was expecting the highs maybe to be like a little intense, but yeah, the highs were really great, clear, defined. I didn't feel ice picky at all being my ear. Very well balanced.
Yeah, no, definitely not ice picky at all. I wouldn't have expected that, but I get like having that fear when you see that in writing.
Yeah.
As you think about like a shimmer reverb, you I should say I like with the cloak being able to filter out some of that high end with that low pass filter really made a big difference, and I feel like the usability of that, because otherwise, yeah, it can get pretty shimmer reverbs can get ice picky.
And Catalinbread makes some great pedals.
They do, and they had a fun booth. They weren't here last year, so it's really great this year to be able to see them, Joey and all them. They had Mortal Kombat, like the arcade Mortal Kombat. And man, who was it? Was it Nick? Someone kicked my ass like hard.
It's either Nicholas or Anthony. I'm trying to remember what his name is. I think it was Nicholas.
Yeah, he's very good. And he showed no mercy.
No, he was instructed not to show any mercy. And I was like, well, I haven't played the arcade version of Mortal Kombat 2 in maybe like 2 decades. I got one uppercut in, as Sub-Zero. So I was like, okay, I hit you once.
I will say he did show me how to do the like special move, like the back and high kick. Yeah, and then he let me hit him a few times. And just like 5 seconds later, I got dead.
I got no mercy.
Finish him.
Yeah, he missed the finish him. He didn't get it. He was like, oh, and I was like,
yeah, but he didn't get that either for me. It's like, oh man.
So yeah, if you had actually beaten him, there was a prize.
Pedal.
So,
yeah, like a pedal.
But yeah, no mercy.
No mercy. But you got to play their Sabracadabra and their soft focus.
Oh, the soft focus. Oh my God. Like I have a handful of people that I've talked to, and the soft focus is really great because they have that volume knob. I've had the loomer, I've had the reverberator, and I didn't really like the fact that I didn't have a knob for volume, at least for my dry signal. And the fact that the soft focus sounds so good, and I have a volume to at least boost my dry signal within that blend. Oh my God, it was so good. Like, I was like, I need this in my life.
Yeah, so I think they're going to get you one, sounded like, but that pedal just sounds so great with everything max, like the whole top row, just turn them all the way to the right, all the way clockwise, and then mix the taste.
Yeah, mix the taste. Pretty much you walked by and you're like, while I was playing, she just turned up all the knobs, and I was like, okay, I like this experimentation,
Yeah, that's how it's made. It sounds best that way,
And then I kicked on the Sabracadabra, which is kind of more like a Black Sabbath, kind of tone inspired. And oh my God, that drenched in reverb, I was just like, yes, shoegazy like goodness.
Totally. I really so when I did that demo for the soft focus, I put the drive after the soft focus. I think it was the tribute probably, or a dirty amp. I don't remember which I did. But that sounded great. And I really want to try the STS-88 and the soft focus together because they're kind of made to go together. And I was talking with, I'm so bad with names, one of the guys from over there, the owner actually, who's, I'm so sorry.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. A lot of people I've met for the first time.
Yeah.
But he said, like, to think of the STS-88 as, like, not a flanger with reverb, but a reverb with flanger. So that's kind of Flurb-esque in that vibe, but with, like a lot more control. And, that's exactly right. It is a reverb with flanger, and it just sounds best that way.
Yeah, I got to play it a little bit, too. And I turned, obviously, everything on high at one point. I just laughed because I was just like, oh, this is pretty great and pretty intense.
It's always a great sign when someone is playing with pedals and just starts laughing.
Yeah, I had that experience with another booth, too, that we visited.
Was that Eventide?
No, that was Death by Audio.
Yes. Got to meet Oliver and Heather for the first time. That was great.
That was wonderful.
And they launched a new pedal.
It was great.
Yeah. So I guess what is hi Rick. The new pedal was launched here. It's phaser, flanger, and filter. And there's like a freeze switch so you can freeze part of the modulation. I don't know. Cool. I haven't dug into it. I had about like 5 to 10 minutes with it. But it's very promising. Very promising.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Again, don't want to say things before things come out. Yeah. Rooms. I had heard from quite a number of my friends that they were like, oh yeah, Rooms is really great. And I'm like, okay, it's a reverb, you know. But trying it for the first time here, and I hooked it up to a bass. And yeah, I was just going through all the presets and everything, and I was laughing. And you know, it's a good pedal that when you're going through it,
You start
like
laughing.
you're smiling and you're laughing while playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I definitely need this in my life at some point. It's such a great pedal.
Absolutely. It's killer. I'm never selling mine. And that gong is just so fun. And we were talking to Andy Pitcher yesterday.
Yes.
And he said that like Oliver basically programmed that in a weekend, and then they spent a lot of time like fine tuning it. I'm like, that fast?
Yeah. Just like,
wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's going to be the prototype. And then like, what, 2 years later?
Like 2 years later, yeah.
Wow.
So that was cool. It was great. I never really got to talk to Andy before, but we walked back from a tiki bar with him last night. And,
no, he's wonderful.
So
I really
wonderful.
enjoyed our conversations and walking together last night.
Yeah, that was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, there is the other booth. So it's how DOD.
Oh, yeah. I got to do a little interview with Tom Cram. I'll make sure to get that up as soon as possible. But that was another person who was great meeting in person. And because he's been on the podcast before, and talking to him about like the emotional roller coaster of finding out from his other people that DOD Digitech had been bought, having like basically no expectations, being like, oh, someone just bought the IP and they're probably just gonna like, I'm probably not gonna be involved. It's probably gonna be like cheap clone-esque kind of things. For him to just be brought on and just the court to basically be like, go.
Yeah, at the time that whole announcement with the bio was, we kind of didn't know what was going on because we heard rumors beforehand that, yeah, it's going to happen, you know, they're going to be redone, but, you know, we didn't know whether he's going to be included or not. And like, it sounded promising once we heard that he was going to be involved. Like, this is going to happen.
Yeah, and they're letting him do Spiral still. There's going to be new stuff. Like, right now he's very focused on like getting up to speed pretty much. But like, I've got a couple of the pedals, and I didn't really get to spend a lot of time with the Rubberneck when I demoed it. So being able to spend more time with that now, that's a great pedal. I know everyone who didn't buy it for $79 or whatever during the fire sales, like really was kicking themselves pretty much immediately. I feel like,
it definitely is a pedal that when you bought it before, obviously, at the price that you did, and then looking at how it is now, like, yeah, it was definitely, you got it for a steal. You know, that is a pedal that is incredible and unique in the ways that it is with the delay. It's just great.
He did say people are asking him about the Bad Monkey.
Oh.
Sure. Yeah. Well, let's take a second to thank our sponsor, Moog. Run the ad. This episode is brought to you by Moog Music. Moog instruments continue to inspire artists and listeners around the world. As music technology continues to evolve, the company and its employee owners carry on Bob Moog's devotion to creating innovative tools designed for the musician. Moog Music's latest venture is the reimagining of some of its most influential analog instruments of the past for today's production workflow. The Moogerfooger Effects Plug-ins are compatible with all major DAWs across Windows and macOS, making the Moog sound more accessible than ever. I honestly use these plugins all the time, and I use the MF102 ring modulator in the background track you're hearing right now. The MF102 pairs a wide range carrier oscillator with an LFO for effects from soft tremolo to far out clangorous ring modulation tones. This particular plugin made me realize I don't hate ring modulators, I just didn't know how to use them. And the presets that come with all of these plugins really helped me understand that. Learn more about the Moogerfooger Effects plugins by clicking the link in the description. I have one for Sweetwater and the Moog website itself, or by visiting software.moogmusic.com. That's software.moogmusic.com, and links in the show notes or video description depending on where you're listening. Thanks again to Moog. Thank you again to Moog for sponsoring Get Offset. Check out those plugin effects. I recommend the bundle. They're all great. But again, link in video description or show notes. And yeah, please do check them out.
Thank you so much.
Cool. So when we got here, Rick and I actually changed our flights to get here earlier so we could go to the Martin kickoff party the day before. And that was really, really cool. Just to be able to, one, because it was quieter, so you could actually play one of them and hear it. But some of those new guitars are really, really cool. They have these little short scale basses, and they custom made strings for them.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Because sometimes, short scale basses in general can suffer from a bit of flubbiness in the strings. They really, I think I might have footage of somebody actually talking about it, but the way they make the strings, it's tighter.
Yeah, the tension is
the tension's up there, and so is the output. So that's really cool. So anyone who has an acoustic short scale bass can just buy those strings too.
Yeah, and they also had some great guitars that were in a lower price point, and they looked beautiful.
Under $800.
Yeah,
no,
and it was just like, and just the outside, the satin finish on it, it was so gorgeous. I was like, really? This is the price point for it. Oh,
yeah,
this was incredible.
I was floored by it because I remember being a teenager and going to college. I wanted to get a kind of a bang around sort of acoustic that wouldn't be too bad. Feel too sad something didn't happen. And I didn't like the Martins in the price range back then. So it's really nice to see like just how far that's come. And speaking of the satin finish, I think it was a D18 and a D28.
Okay,
those are out now in a satin finish, and they're like $300 less expensive. So, like, I kind of prefer the satin finish these days. Like, especially if it's just like a spruce top or natural top, I prefer that. Yeah.
Also, seeing the shape of some of the ones that almost look like an offset. Like
they are offset.
They are.
Yeah, they are offsets.
They're really great looking.
Yeah.
I love the way that's designed, the shape and everything. And I did the unfortunate thing of picking one of them up and playing them, and I was just like, oh no, this sounds amazing.
I want it now. You picked up the most expensive one.
I did.
Too, like the one in the back room.
Yeah, we went to the back room area, and I picked up one of those ones that were, I think, maybe like, was it like $7 or?
It was $7,000 or $8,000.
Yeah, so I picked it up and I started playing it. I was like, oh
man.
This is why they cost so much, and this is, oh my god, the sustain and the sound, and I was just like, oh, I can't fall in love. I can't fall in love because I can't.
Those in general, they're the most ergonomic guitars.
Oh,
like,
they are.
Like,
it was comfortable.
It's so comfortable to sit in, and plus, like the way they were able to do the neck joints, you have more upper fret access. And you never have that. Even because the guitars on the cutaway, that cutaway's kind of useless to the point where I just stopped buying them because like. You can't get around that anyway.
Also, do you remember there was, I think, one of them that had adjustment in the neck? I thought that was an interesting way in which they did that.
Yes, you can adjust those necks. Yeah. They were talking. There's more. I'm not sure how much of that made into the actual interview I was able to get, but we had a nice long one-on-one conversation with somebody over there, and we were told lots of things.
Yes.
Not all of which we can say on the podcast, but. Like because there's always things that like, oh, here's the thing we're trying, but we don't like lots of ideas. You never know if they're gonna come to fruition. We didn't get anything too major inside baseball, but it was really cool to hear just like what they have in progress.
They're being innovative. They're taking risks
because they can afford to. Absolutely. Course. Like they had the Bitcoin guitar.
Oh yes,
like that's. I saw that in the press release. I'm like, oh wow, that is certainly a guitar. Let's be honest. It's a beautiful guitar, really well made Martin, really intricate inlay work. Let's just call that. And then it's like a gold coin in the head.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was funny. I was like, it's Bitcoin, which is like digital currency. But then in the headstock, you have like a gold
oldest currency, one of the world's oldest currencies, like that we still use. Yeah,
that was funny.
They're like, well,
it was sold. Yep. Somebody
bought it. So good for them. There was a lot. Like I don't get to play a lot of acoustic guitars. I really need a better acoustic guitar. But it's just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Haven't done it yet.
How about Ernie Ball and Sterling?
Oh, yes. Sterling announced that they are doing a Goldie, a St. Vincent Goldie, and they were over there and they look dope.
Yes, the red wine one with those gold pickups, the gold foils, like they look so good. Like I I was having
Heart of flutter.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they aren't blue.
Yeah, there's no blue, so I might be marked safe. But I also like red and purples. So
I love red.
They're secondaries, yeah.
And then the gold one, the gold
is
as
great.
well. I mean, I told them I'd love to get my hands on one of those for a demo, but we'll see what happens. Because I'd love to, like, obviously the Fender gold foil Jazzmaster.
Yeah.
After I put out that video, a lot of people will ask me, like, what about the St. Vincent's? What about, like, the
What's the
Harmonies
difference?
guitar? Yeah, I mean, well, I'd love to find out.
I would love to see that video in which you kind of compare what's the differences between the gold foils.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Fender ones are more like Firebird pickups, so they're not really gold foils. And I was talking to Ernie Ball, they said it's a little bit more of a hybrid than that. I think the original Goldies were just gold foils, but he was like, you know, Annie loves her mini humbuckers is the thing. So, I mean, they're gorgeous. I'm sure they sound great. Would love to confirm that, but
yeah,
you know, I say this a lot. Every time I pick up a Music Man guitar, it's like feels like the best guitar I've ever played. And from the looks of it, the Sterling isn't too big of a step down. It's just like they work to make it more affordable.
No, I don't think a Sterling really is a step down, to be honest. For what you pay, I mean, I have a St. Vincent Sterling, one of the original ones, and yeah, it's not. I mean, you get more than what you pay, and it was one of the first ones that I got from Sterling. I've subsequently have gotten one of their Stingray basses. I really love
the short scale Stingrays.
Yeah, the short scale. Yeah, it's so great. But yeah, as far as those go, I love Sterling. I think I've handled both the Ernie Ball and the Sterling. The neck on that one is different than obviously the Ernie Ball, and I actually preferred the Sterling. It was a V versus like a C. Fits great in my hand. So,
the neck profile.
I definitely did like the neck profile. And again, with Sterling, I don't think you're really losing that much, and I like that price point there where people can enjoy those body styles and shapes. And then, of course, if you want to save up a little bit more money, then you can get the Ernie Ball version. It's a good introductory to get there, but it's not introductory. It's not beginner. You're actually getting still a solid instrument.
Yeah, you know, I think the Music Man guitars are better.
No, of
but
course.
it's a weird thing to say where it's not a step down, but it's definitely a step up.
Yeah,
it's almost like, so with some brands, like the name brand is the floor, and then you go to the basement.
Yeah.
But for Music Man, it's like Sterling is the floor, and it's very good.
It's a good floor.
And then Music Man feels like the high-rise condo. The Sterlings are still great, but the Music Man's like, they're made in America. They're basically custom made in a lot of ways. Like when I got my husband, I got him a bass for his birthday last year. Like there was an order form with my name on it for it. So that's like when we toured the factory, there were order forms with names on them. And sometimes the name was like Sweetwater, but often the name was Person. And I thought that was really, really cool because you're not going to get that at Fender outside of like the mod shop or the custom shop. Yeah. So it's almost like in some ways, Ernie Ball, Music Man feels like a one big custom shop. And I think it's really cool. I mean, obviously it's not like you have to select from things,
of course,
but it's still made with you in mind versus being made in a factory. I think they have a factory in Indonesia and one in China.
Yeah.
But they're all set up in LA.
Nice.
It's like they're not just unboxed off of a barge and then shipped out. They are inspected. They are like, if something needs to be done, they're going to do it. And so you can have a lot more confidence. But gosh, yeah.
Yeah, the other ones I saw was the Mariposa, which looked beautiful. The new Crazen, I think I was seeing there as well. Yeah, they definitely knocked it out of the park this year. Really beautiful models, good choice of paint, even in some of the necks, some of the flames. Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Eventide.
Yes.
I don't think Eventide, they didn't announce anything that I'm aware of, but we did have a great conversation with Nalia about cats.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes.
But finally got to play an H90, which, you know, everyone who's ever got an H9, I think they've just immediately said, I wish I had 2 of these.
I have yet to try any of the H9, 90s, anything. I have not had experience in it yet. So it was really good to get to that booth and actually play a little bit around with them. And I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of understand what the reason why that people will get one. And then all the pedals that they had before are suddenly no longer on the board. And it's just like that, like H9 or H90 that pretty much eliminates your pedal port. You only need that.
Maybe, because it's like two things. Like, but it'll eliminate a couple of things for sure. It's amazing to me just how well those algorithms have held up.
Of course.
And you can say the same thing for like the Strymon Big Series, to the point where they're doing the Eventide thing. It seems like of taking specific algorithms and then make a pedal around that. That being said, like the Strymon Cloud, it was based on the cloud
algorithm. Yeah, the Cloudburst.
Yeah, the Cloudburst was based on the cloud algorithm. But it was a little bit different, and people did make that comment. I think it's pretty much plug and play for the Eventide stuff from like just my general understanding. But now you have the chorus.
Yes. Yes.
They have great t-shirts.
Yeah, the t-shirts that they gave us were great. The graphic design on that is incredible. That was kind of a little bit of a spoiling of a gift. And I was like, thank you. These are awesome.
Yeah, they're great. Big fan. Really can't wait to try the H90. I know that they can't make them fast enough, this kind of thing. There's just such
they're back
huge
ordered.
demand. Like Sweetwater's back ordered to August.
Wow.
Yeah, but you might as well put your order in now, I guess. Affiliate link in the video description.
Yep, do it now so you'll have like a lead time of everyone else. You'll be in front.
That's true. So you keep putting things off, but like the date, like the delay doesn't get shorter.
No, the more
always.
you delay, like it just gets longer in the lead time.
You're delaying. You can try to wait until they're in stock again, but that might be a while. Like I'm still hearing about part shortages.
Yeah, first come, first serve. Whoever puts in the order in, like that's who's going to be served first. And who knows how over the months, whether there'll be a further shortage or whether there won't be.
And it is booming in here. It just started.
Yes, it is. I feel like as I've walked through, I have heard every like version of music. There's been Disney. There's been like EDM. There's been like hard rock and other. I have just literally walked through all of like a music collection walking through this floor.
How loud can you hear that? And that's not loud. Okay, think that's good.
Zoom. It's like the background like music, like get a little excitement.
So we are in the press media area, sponsored by Harmon. So that's AKG and JBL. I'm a big fan of both of these brands, I should say. I have JBL monitors in my home setup. I have AKG mics. This is an AKG mic. This is from the DMS 300 series.
Yeah.
These are wireless mics.
These
are
really
really nice. That was great. Like what?
Lightweight.
I'm glad I asked. But so these are wireless and they're all no license required, license free for the frequencies. Because there's frequencies where you have to get a license. But the 300 series, you can link up to 8 of these.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot.
That is.
So it looks pretty easy to set up. I think they said like 300 feet is the range, which is the same for the in-ear monitors I have, the wireless ones. I saw those itty bitty little antennas. I'm like, oh, that looks like the 300 feet. Felt real fancy. But so thank you to Harmon, AKG, JBL, for this awesome area for the coffee.
Yeah,
the
thank
tea,
you
and
so
the
much.
water.
This is wonderful.
And these microphones as well. Also the AKG K701 reference monitors, the open backs. I love those things. Never heard anything better. But that reminds me of, we were at the media preview day on Wednesday, which was a little chaotic. Like it was really pretty crowded. It was kind of a lot of brands in a really small space.
Oh yeah. And
there are a few things that stuck out to me. We saw PV, so that was cool. What the 3D like was like kind of like an Oculus thing.
Yes.
And then these 360-degree microphones, and we both did it. And you put on the like Oculus.
It's like an Oculus headset that you put on. And then, like, you have the choice of, like, being in the orchestra or an opera. And just like with the Oculus, where you can control like where you can be in that digital artificial room, if you placed yourself next to a violin player, it's as if the violin player you're actually next to, or an oboe player, you just hear them by themselves. Or you can go into the audience and then you can hear it as an overall like experience, full immersion. It was incredible.
Yeah, they're expensive. They sell them in packs of 5. I remember asking like, so who, like, just nicer, but who's buying these? Like, who uses these the most? And like video games, like,
that makes sense.
Sure,
totally.
That makes sense. Obviously, it's a literal video game that we were watching, but like, they said they linked like more than 20 for that orchestra demo that we did. Yeah. So it's just like a ball, and then there's all the little capsules. I think there's 20 capsules in there, and then I forget how many he said were in the orchestra. But it was wild. My husband did it, and he ended up on a beach somehow.
He's had a vacation.
Yeah, a vacation from your vacation. Oh my gosh, that's do people still say that? I need a vacation from this vacation.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a dad joke. Then they have the Fender Riff, that their new Bluetooth speaker.
Yes.
Which, I got the press release for it. I'm like,
you look at the printed stuff, you're like, no, okay,
Yeah, but I'll be honest, it's pretty cool.
I was blown away by it.
I was
to be
impressed
honest.
by it, because you can link like an unlimited number of them. They're very loud. You control like the volume and treble just by sliding your finger on the top, which I have mixed feelings about. Like, it is cool, but there's something to be said for buttons that you press.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It worked. It worked great. Like, it's a maple kind of top. Yeah. And then what I thought was really cool, and I think a lot of people are going to use this, you can plug in your guitar.
Yeah.
You can plug in an instrument and play along with whatever you're listening to.
Yeah, and the fact that you could, apart from your guitar signal, whatever music that you're jamming along to with your guitar, you can control the volume blend of both of them together. I was like, oh, that's so great.
App. Yeah, I can imagine a lot of buskers would be interested in that.
No.
I mean, it's like $480 or something though. It's pretty, it's kind of expensive, but for a Bluetooth speaker that's that loud, that's not so far off base, It has like the strap is like the handle's a guitar strap and stuff like that.
That was cool.
Like, yeah.
The other thing I thought it was interesting in the grill, they were like picks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, have the pick shapes as the grill. Yeah. I was like, oh, design element. I was like, oh, that's so adorable. That's so awesome. Like,
it was obviously very thoughtful.
Yeah, it was.
I'm always really torn on these like guitar themed items. Yeah, like the guitar spatula, or I think the other example we have is like the Marshall keychain, which that's not so egregious. But if I saw that in someone's house, I'd laugh. I'd laugh.
I almost got that. I admit I didn't though.
And there's nothing wrong with it, And that's not so bad, because it's kind of compact and small, and like it makes sense. But I also was kind of wondering, how far back from the wall does because it's like that long, right? How are we on volume levels?
Good.
How are we on that volume level? It's getting very loud in here.
Yeah. No cowbell though.
No cowbell. We could really do with more cowbell.
I'm disappointed.
I haven't seen any cowbells here.
No, I didn't either. We need more cowbells.
Need more cowbells. You know what? I think the fashion accessory of NAMM was a jumper.
Really?
Because Eventide was wearing them.
Yeah.
Death by Audio was wearing them. And I just saw some guys in these orange jumpers walking around with the QR code on the back. And
that seems to be the fashion, is jumpers this year.
I was at the Seymour Duncan booth with my bosses, and we saw them walk by, and they're like, oh yeah, like, we'll get you to NAMM, but you have to walk around in this. You have to wear this. Like, man, wearing that, I feel like they should go like clean some trash off the highway next. Or like direct airplanes.
Yeah, just like give them those little lights and just direct traffic here at NAMM. Like, you exhibitor, that way.
That's definitely high vis. One thing I haven't seen that many people dressed in a way that says "pay attention to me." Like, it's been pretty chill.
It has been.
Yeah,
I've seen different people wearing different things, coming from different areas. Like, it's been really interesting, even just the people watch.
Yeah. And there's been so many great people to see and meet. A lot of people I've met for the first time. Some I've met like at previous events. You're meeting everyone for the first time.
I've met everyone that I've talked to, like other demo artists, people that I've only talked to, you know, and like meeting
David
everyone for the first
Ishizaka.
time. Yeah, David. So
I met David. David's in our Patreon. He's got some videos on YouTube. Y'all should check out his band, the Timber Owls. But he and Joe were gonna have a tiny off. They were in competition, like who was shorter. And I look at Joe and I'm like, he's shorter.
So yeah, like we were joking because Ryan is from 60 Cycle Hunt is pretty tall, and then there's Steve,
also very tall.
Yeah, so we're basically going like, okay, I am pretty sure that I am gonna be the shortest person, and like no, I wasn't, and I kind of felt like I was robbed. There was a part of me that wanted to win that game.
Well, was there a prize?
I don't know, but we would have made one up.
No, like it's been a great crew. We've been spending a lot of time with Hondo.
No, it's been
Hondo
wonderful.
Felder.
Yeah, I brought basically one of those coffee maker things. I've been making Cuban coffee every morning. You know, so
good.
I've been definitely enjoying myself here. And again, you know, thank you for making that possible, and everyone watching as well. Thank you so much for the Patreon and listening and watching.
The Patreon is paying for this. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been great. So then we had dinner with like the guys from Scythe Guitars, Ryan from Demos in the Dark as well.
Yeah, that
Kai
was great.
from Demos in the Dark, whose name badge says not Ryan.
Yes, I thought that was great.
Not that Ryan.
Hi, not Ryan.
Yeah. Who else? Charles Henry from Silktone. Finally meeting Charles. That was great.
Silktone's great, Charles.
And Jesse from Believable Audio. We had a great conversation last night, Jesse and I, at the Tiki Bar.
Yeah, Jesse is awesome. He
really
lovely.
is. He's very smart.
I thought it was pretty funny, like me and Charles from Silktone. We showed up and we didn't even like plan it or coordinate beforehand. We were wearing like almost kind of the same style of like cat shirt, and we're like, oh, we're each other's people. We get each other.
Charles is great.
I love Charles.
It was a great crew last night.
Everyone was just great. Like what they say about people who do this, they do it because you love it. There's a passion, and they're just really kind, lovely people.
Because God knows there's not a lot of money in it.
No, there isn't.
And I don't want to tell Jesse's story, but he had a good story about the music industry and Randy Newman specifically. It was a positive story, positive interaction. But man, that was great.
Taylor as well that we went to.
Oh yeah, we went to a Taylor party.
That was great.
So that was fun. Really intimate kind of thing. Really good food.
Yes, it was. I was a little bit of a gremlin and probably put more stuff on my plate than I was ever going to eat.
You know, they had a lot of food.
Yeah, they did.
There was a lot. Oh man, that steak was really good.
Oh my God, yes, that was so good. The drinks were great too.
The drinks were good. Yeah, I felt fine the next day at least. Let's say that. I felt fine the next day.
Hydrate.
You gotta stay hydrated.
Yes, very important.
I would love some water. But yeah, I don't know what else that we have really to cover that we haven't covered. There's just so much.
Yeah, there is. I mean, even me for like a first time being here, and it's always been kind of like I've always wanted to do this kind of thing, but to be here, it's a little overwhelming because there is so much. And I know there's like floors. There's like a basement, there's an upper floor, there's the main floor, there's separate areas. Just walking through, there's so much. You're like, I want to see this, I want to see that. But with time, it's like you're always like on the go. And there's still so much that I want to see. I want to go by, obviously, Benson, the new delay.
I want to do the LA Vintage thing.
Yeah, so there's still some stuff that I want to see and I haven't seen yet.
We got to see Jason Mays. I forgot.
Yes.
We forgot to mention that. But yeah, Jason got in yesterday.
That was great. I love
with him a lot. Yeah, Jason's the best. So are Tia, Nelson, and Xander.
Will Lance be there?
Well, I don't know if Lance is going to be there. It's all good. And we'll see them again soon. But I'm about to get lunch with Hillary B. Jones from the Midriff podcast. So that'll be really fun. And we just saw Adam from... I am blanking on Adam's channel. I've been on his podcast a few times.
Okay.
What is Adam's channel? You're probably looking at me like, I don't know who that is.
I haven't met Adam before.
But he just covers great studio stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to put that down here, Adam's channel. This is my hand in the shot. Adam's channel. Adam's channel.
Like Vanna White.
Well, I think that's a pretty good place to call it. There's still a lot for us to do and explore.
Yes.
And a lot for us to do tomorrow. But yeah, I'm trying to take it a little bit easier today.
Yeah, I kind of want to see all the things that I was overwhelmed and didn't get to see yesterday. So I'm going to try to like see some things that I definitely pinpoint want to go and directly see rather than like too much wondering, like, you know, big starry-eyed, like, oh my God.
That's great. Great to do that the first day. And then the second, like you get your bearings and then you figure out what you want to do.
Of course.
And everyone's been so great and welcoming and friendly and just lovely. So big ups to everybody. We saw, if we didn't mention your name, maybe we haven't seen you yet. Maybe we're going to see you after we record this.
Yeah, there's still some people that I want to meet up with that we just haven't connected with yet. So I hope to do that today.
Same. Well, again, for the first time, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/getoffset. Link in the show notes or video description. We have merch at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop.
Yeah.
Please like, comment, subscribe. That's hugely helpful.
Yeah, the Discord also, when you obviously are part of the Patreon, is really great. You get to talk to, obviously, a lot of great people. We're there as well. And yeah, we talk about gear. We talk about life. It's really a wonderful community.
It is. My boss is over there.
Oh, yeah?
They just walked up, yeah. Talking about tall guys. Well, yeah, so everybody out there, thanks for watching/listening.
Thanks for understanding.
Until next time, my name is Emily.
I'm Joan of Hart.
Goodbye.
Be seeing you.